Take it from me, a man who's not a virgin. There's nothing more satisfying than solving programming problems. It's great. It's like Candy Crush for people with attention spans. It's more satisfying than eating a piece of a jigsaw puzzle and then watching your girlfriend work on it for 2 months, only to get to the end and realize there's one piece missing. All the while knowing you munched that corner segment when she wasn't looking the moment she opened the box. It's just great stuff, really, and I love it. Now, I'm great at eating jigsaw puzzles, or programming, but game development isn't just programming. It involves solving other problems that you can't eat. Sometimes, there's this little annoying thing that you've worked yourself into a corner with, and you keep avoiding it, looking at it in the hopes that it will resolve itself. Or you'll lay down at night and one day a gas-induced Oracle of Delphi-type vision will bestow the perfect solution onto you. That only happens about 70% of the time or so, in my experience. Now, since we're a bunch of special little guys that got tickled pink by making things harder for ourselves for no reason, that means some problems that may seem benign for most games could be a major issue for us. See, the best thing about doing stuff that's been done before, like a sheep, is that someone's made all those mistakes already and solved them. Someone munched those puzzle pieces a long time ago. But lucky us, we get to fall flat on our face tripping over obstacles nobody else can even see. Enter my recent work. I wanted to add more equipment to the game so I had enough variety to tell the difference between people with different roles or factions. Like town guards that have heavy armor, bandits wear sort of bandity clothes, or French people dressed like Waldo. If you've been following me so far, you know I already made these little British oaf type caps and these bracers. Those were the first armor pieces I made during my prototyping, and the idea was I first made the hat for the proof of concept that armor worked, and then I made the bracer to test the idea of a single item that could be equipped on either limb. Boom, got that working, great. Now I can drop armor for 11 months because I proved I can do it, so let's just eat the next puzzle piece instead. But my chickens have come home to roost, and my stomach hurts from the paperboard with tiny fractions of images on it digesting in my stomach. So let me swallow my pride and reveal to you the most complicated problem I've ever dealt with in my entire game development career. Pants. Yes, it brings me great shame to admit to you now that my characters aren't completely nude because the game takes place at a German hard bass rave show, as I've so often claimed. They're nude because I simply don't know how to dress them. Let me explain. You know that thing about my characters being created from a combination of several sprites that I never seem to shut up about? It's something I did so limbs could be severed without the character dying. A huge amount of effort for little moments like these. All because I really wanted my characters to be flat-rendered sprites, like in Fallout 2, without compromising the other thing I really wanted, having no arms. Anyways, over a year ago when I was struggling with body integrity identity disorder and making the human model for my sprite sheet prototype, I arbitrarily cut the guy into segments. Ah, the leg, I thought to myself. Everyone knows that starts 30% of the way down your glute. I'll divide it here and go on my merry way, basing every single art asset off this choice for the next year of development. Never mind thinking about how that will function with clothing. And now, with some sprites to show which parts of the character each limb is responsible for, witness the horrors I've created. Leg armor is exclusively thigh-high stockings. Torso armor is responsible for underwear. What do? Have body armor set the sprites for both legs and torso, removing cosmetic leg armor? Do I reslice my character to give the torso enough leg to fit tassets, forcing me to regenerate every damn sprite sheet? Do I keep it as it is now and have characters running around with thigh-high boots with exposed Ken doll dongs swinging around? Will my characters never be able to wear sweet tunics or robes? These are the questions that torment me. So while I ruminate on the situation we're in, what I actually got done was writing the equipment generation for armor, which didn't exist before. So it can appear with adjusted stats just like weapons do, with materials, rarities, and enchantments. I also made those things actually affect item stats finally, so rarer items are actually better instead of just colored differently. Then I made this full plate helm, so we can start playing around with how heavy armor will affect mobs. Does it slow them down, prevent them from being staggered by attacks? Does it make stealth harder? And how do we handle damage types? So much imaginary nonsense for us to decide. I also generated inventory sprites for the shield and helm, and world sprites for the cap, shield, bracer, and helm, since we're actually generating them now. When I set these barrels to spawn items at random, there's actually a sizable amount of different stuff coming out now, which feels pretty cool. I also regenerated the shield sprites to fix the oversaturated colors. I took a little time to slightly improve the tooltips as well, and added a bunch more materials for things to be made out of, like leathers. Anyways, I'm going back to my important pant-related research. If you made it this far into the video, which nobody did, you might as well subscribe or at least complain in the comments section. Ideally, both. Thanks for watching.